because that starting lineup, we talk about Jokic and how valuable he is when he's on the court, and when he's off of it, they're basically not competitors. So, do we think that which one of those issues needs to be addressed first? I mean, is there a need for a shooter on that starting lineup? Because if MPJ can't play well and if Jamal Murray can't knock down his shots, then they are screwed, like you said. And so, is it that or is it depth that they need to fix first? Because both issues are serious problems.
GMLB family, welcome back to Good Morning Let's Basketball, Season 3, Episode 4. We are now a week into the NBA season, and we got a lot packed today. We're going to start off talking about some Nuggets discussion. Are they cooked? We'll find out. Then we're going to move into Good Morning Check Your Mailbox. That is at gmlbfans@gmail.com, where you can email us and we will answer your emails on the show. And after that, we'll move into our interactive segment, which is Nickname Knockout, where Victor has brought 5 players with hilarious nicknames from Basketball Reference, where then Daniel, Kevin, and I will compete to try and decide all of the nicknames and see if we can get them right. But as always, we are on Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Wherever you're listening, we'd appreciate a 5-star rating, a like, or subscribe. Thank you all as we quickly approach 2K. We look forward to bringing you guys more content. But before we get into the pod, it's time for a GMLB patented moment of silence. One for the Dwayne Wade statue. What an absolute travesty. I'm sure everyone watching has seen those pictures going around of Dwayne Wade's new statue, but also Rudy Gay is retired. And if that doesn't warrant a moment of silence, I don't know what does, but let's go ahead and give him 5 seconds, fellas. All right, let's jump into topic number 1.
Me and Miles, over the last few games, have for some reason decided to force ourselves to watch some Nuggets basketball, and it's bad.
Yeah, just you and Miles.
It's bad. It's not looking good. I'm the biggest Russell Westbrook fan that also moonlights as a Bulls fan, and I don't think he fits. I think that this looks weird, and I don't know. I'm interested to hear what you guys think, but there's a lot of issues when we'll get into it.
I don't think Westbrook really fits anywhere.
Yeah.
I think it's hard to fit on a team when you're 0 for 8 shooting and 0 for 6 on threes. That's not going to fit anywhere, not even the JV team. Keeping it a buck. But yeah, we all did force ourselves to watch the Denver Nuggets versus Toronto Raptors game the other night for good reason, because we saw that they started off 0-2 in their past 2 games. They did take L's to solid teams, so it's not like they were losing to Detroit, but they were some pretty bad losses. So we're going to see, all right, in Toronto, if they start off 0-3, maybe hit the panic button a little bit, but they need a win. And it was actually a good game. So we didn't force ourselves to watch a terrible game. Got into OT, ended up coming out with the win, which is a win they really, really needed. But it wasn't a pretty win. So I don't think they should be too satisfied with it. They look pretty bad on offense and defense.
Yeah, they barely won that game, and Raptors aren't at full strength either because they're still missing Quickly, and then who else are they missing? I can't think
Bruce
of them now.
Brown.
Bruce Brown, yes. And I think that was RJ Barrett's first game back, if I'm not mistaken. And would you guys consider that Nuggets win? Like, even though it was a win, it was still kind of a loss. That's what it kind of felt like to me.
No, because they started off 0-2 and they really needed a win, whether it was ugly or not.
I
Because
was
going
gonna
down
say
0-3, this team being what they've been the past few years, they needed that win. Regardless if it was OT, double OT, regular time, they needed it.
I was gonna say that yeah, the Nuggets are sitting 13th in the West as we know right now, but it I actually disagree, Kevin, that it was a pretty good game. It was a pretty good game with like 4 minutes left in the fourth because they were down double digits pretty much the entire game. And I was really rooting for the Raptors just because, young team playing former champion not too long ago. So I wanted to see them win. Scotty Barnes goes absolutely off. And honestly, I kind of feel like the only reason that game went to overtime was because Scotty got injured in crunch time. So that could have easily been a loss. The last 4 minutes in overtime were great though. I will agree with you on that.
I don't know really what to say here because Nuggets basketball, I feel like even last year, they did trail a lot of games. And even when they are good, they do trail sometimes. And it is often late in the fourth quarter or third quarter that they start to make a comeback and Jamal Murray is able to hit his shots and so is MPJ and they're able to catch fire and win. I do see where Victor's coming from of like, even though it was a win, it was a loss. And I do agree with you, Kevin. Like, it is ugly. They needed the win, but it doesn't bode well for their future. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, I know we keep on saying it's too early in the season and things, but it's feeling, yes, they won, but it's feeling like the way that they won is a loss in the long run because they have some serious issues that need to be fixed if you're keeping games that, well, losing games like that and then having to basically fight for a chance to win it every time.
I'm interested to see if they're going to make a move at the trade deadline. Because the past few years, they've been kind of one of those teams that haven't really made a move at the deadline. And to be fair, they've never really had a reason to. So I'm interested to see from now up until mid-February around the All-Star break to see if they're going to try to get something done. Maybe get another shooter in there. Hopefully another person off the bench because against LA, Julian Strawther was the only person that made a shot off the bench that game. And you simply just can't have that. MPJ looks terrible.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray is lost on defense. The team as a whole in transition defense, they're just garbage. Straight up
Yeah.
terrible. Like it was so tough to watch in the beginning.
Watching
Yeah.
that Raptors game, you can just tell like that the Raptors were so much quicker than the Nuggets were able to defend them. And with that bench thing that you were talking about, Nuggets are averaging 17 points or bench points per game, which is 29th in the NBA right now. And watching that bench unit, it's just like they were just struggling with Jokic off the floor. They did not know what to do. There was a lot of turnovers to like Dario Saric in the paint that I noticed. This is like not the Denver Nuggets basketball that I'm like, or that we're so accustomed to like watching previously. And it felt like they ran a lot of like 4 out, 1 in, and we're trying to like feed Jokic or Sarge the ball a lot. I don't know if you guys noticed that, and I didn't really see Aaron Gordon in the short corner too much.
Yeah. I will say, bouncing off Kevin's point about Michael Porter Jr. too, the lack of shooting is so apparent now. Like I didn't realize KCP and Reggie Jackson meant that much to this roster in terms of shooting. But like Kevin said, MPJ has been awful. He's shooting 4 for 14 as of this recording from three,
Do you think
actually.
it's because of that new sleeve he got?
I don't know, man. It might be the braids are too tight or something, but it's bad. I mean, Brown, they leave wide open. Peyton Watson, the guy who I've wanted to take a step for the past 2 years now, still doesn't look great, especially from outside. Westbrook, obviously, like Kevin said, is not shooting great from outside, and he's not expected to. So who's going to be the one to step up? Because if it's Jokic who just set a career high in 3 pointers, we're going to have a problem because you don't want him on the perimeter. So it's like it's honestly looking very bleak right now. And we are, for reference, we are 3 games in, so it could get better as of this recording. Um, but yeah, it's looking bleak. The issues are very apparent.
What do you think? I don't want to say is the most like apparent issue, but is it more so because that starting lineup, we talk about Jokic and how valuable he is when he's on the court, and when he's off of it, they're basically not competitors. So, do we think that which one of those issues needs to be addressed first? I mean, is there a need for a shooter on that starting lineup? Because if MPJ can't play well and if Jamal Murray can't knock down his shots, then they are screwed, like you said. And so, is it that or is it depth that they need to fix first? Because both issues are serious problems.
It's a good
Like both
question.
those issues, both of those are issues, but I feel like they could be, I don't want to say easily fixed. Scratch that part right there. But their offense in general, just like that kind of motion offense that they run, they're kind of running it without a purpose. It's like a read and react but they're not really reacting or reading. It's kind of just, all right, what can happen in 24 seconds? I don't think a shooter is really going to help that out too much. So I feel like they need to figure out their offense a little bit more and then kind of focus on, all right, what can we do to help out this shooting situation? And then the depth, obviously, it being an issue itself. Those two, Daniel, definitely need to be fixed 100% if they want to be able to contend with some of the better teams in the Western Conference. Minnesota's looking solid, especially tonight. And yeah, they need to figure out how they're going to run this offense because I think teams are kind of starting to catch on exactly how they operate. Michael Malone might have to make some adjustments.
The adjustments I feel like we've seen in the last like 7 years from other teams is insane. Like all I mean is that like with the offense that like Steve Kerr and the Warriors were running, people adjusted. People learned how to obviously defend that. Same thing with the Nuggets, same thing with the Suns, same thing with every other team. Teams are adapting really well and not letting like teams catch fire, which I think is just a really quick like thought of mine.
How about this? An anonymous NBA player quoted, Jamal Murray is easy to guard now. Is this fact or cap?
I think he should have came out and said like who he was. You know what I'm saying? Like why be secretive about it? Because then once that matchup comes, it's popcorn time.
Yeah, low key, is he scared? Whoever this was.
It's
It's
KD
actually
on his
that
burner.
That's actually such a good point. If Jamal Murray knew who he was matching up against, but also it should light a fire under him to go up against any guy that he sees across the floor and say, all right, like the league thinks I'm soft now.
I don't know
His
if they,
shot selection has just been so bad.
yeah,
That always has been.
they are 29th in offensive rating as of this recording. So if that doesn't speak for itself, it's I don't really see the light at the end of the tunnel right now. I feel like we've seen the woes about all the way back to when they lost Bones Highland. It's like, yeah, they just keep losing pieces and aren't quite replacing them. But I think this year it might just be a little too much on Jokic. It's he's not getting a lot of help right now. So
Would honestly be ignorant enough to say that I feel like one of the biggest things that could help them is just Jamal Murray. Obviously, like you guys said, taking better shots, but making them. I think me and Miles talked about as long as he goes like even 3 for 7 or 4 for 10, whatever it is, he needs to make some shots. If when they do, obviously you're gonna pull another defender to guard Jamal Murray, and like it just it makes for a better Nuggets team when he's able to fire on all cylinders and be successful from three and from just everywhere. So I'm ignorant enough to say that if Jamal Murray can step it up, there will be light at the end of the tunnel. He's that main missing piece that needs to step it up, in my opinion, because Jokic is there, um, Braun is there, a lot of guys are there.
just for reference, bouncing off your point, he is shooting 36% from the field. And last game against Toronto, he was 6 for 20. So first game against OKC, 4 for 13. So he's off to a slow start. But go ahead, Vic.
I don't think it's just Jamal Murray's fault, man. I'm gonna be honest. I think that offense, it really looked like they weren't really moving when they were running it. From some players that I was like watching and observing. But when you were asking earlier if it was the 3-point shooting that they need to fix or if it's the bench, I think the bench is more important because once you send out that second unit when Jokic and Jamal Murray and their starters are off the floor, that's going to help you win those games. Because if you have a stronger bench than an opposing team, it's going to be a lot easier for you to win games. Because I think right now the bench, the Warriors have the best bench in the NBA. I think they're averaging 63 points per game
I,
for
I'm
a
I'm not
bench,
saying
but that's
I'm
only
not
three
saying
games.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I was just saying, I think it might be harder to get a better bench just now in the middle of the season. I mean, they're gonna have to make some trades, and they're not a team that, like Kevin said, has been making pretty big moves. I think their biggest moves that they have been is just losing players. They've lost so many key pieces: KCP, Reggie Jackson, Jeff Green, Bruce Brown, and there's one more that I'm forgetting, but they just keep losing these pieces that they had on the championship team that made them get that far and made them so dominant.
I think that the shooting is more important simply because Mike Malone has never been a coach to play a deep rotation. That guy, during their championship run, they were what, 8 heads deep every game? The rest DNP'd. Pretty much their entire rotation was 8 guys. So I think that that shooting is much more apparent because they have proved that they can rely on their starters and win games. But without the extra shooting in the lineup, it's pretty much impossible. And the only reason I say that, it's a stretch to begin with, but it has worked for them. So I would go ahead and push for shooters before depth, because as always, once you get the shooters, you can mix them in with the depth. And I think having a shooter, just one or two, will relieve both units like extremely well. So
Yeah.
that's kind of my argument on that one.
The starters are the ones who are losing the lead, and it's two different things. The late quarter Nuggets are a very different team than like the first, second, and third quarter for some reason. And when the starters are on the floor, they're consistently losing or trailing by 5 to 10. And then the bench players come in and they kind of keep that same uh point disparity consistent. But it really is the starters. I mean, the starters are the ones who are keeping the Nuggets trailing the entire game and then forcing them to have to come back. So
For sure, but I mean, what Miles was saying with getting shooters, I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand. If they're gonna trade for shooters, they're still like increasing that bench unit and making it better. So they both tie together. And I mean, I think it's gonna be hard to fix the starting lineup shooting right now in the middle of the season, like developing Aaron Gordon's jump shot or like getting Jamal Murray more shots. I mean, as the season goes on, they're gonna obviously hit those shots with Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. They'll catch their fire sooner rather than later. It's just probably a slow start for them right now.
oh,
Yeah.
I see what you mean. So you're saying like regardless, the Nuggets will be good, but their depth needs to be addressed. I guess I see that point.
That's what I'm saying. I think
Yeah,
they're
no, I see that. I see that.
You guys pretty much hit everything right there. But as long as MPJ and Jamal Murray get to their like normal selves and hit their shots like they have been the past few seasons, maybe make a trade for a guy or two, and hopefully Julian Strother keeps it up and develops into something great. It could work, but
Can can
the
we
the work starts now.
can we talk about Julian Strawther for a minute? Because Julian Strawther, I told Daniel this, is like everything I wanted Peyton Watson to be like in their lineup. That guy, that guy is very, very solid. He is the one like bright spot on that bench unit, and honestly on the team overall right now that isn't Jokic, because he's hooping. He's hooping, and he is a promising shooter, one of the only ones they have at the moment. So I do want to give the GMLB flower basket over to Julian Strother before we before we get comments about how we disrespected him, not talking about how well he's been playing.
I was just gonna say I don't really have much to say. I mean, we know that if the Nuggets do catch fire, he'll be a big part of keeping them hot when the starters come off the bench. So he's got a big role, and it's either he's gonna step up to the plate, he has been, or he's not. Um, like I said, with Strother, it's almost too early. I feel like with him, it is. We just have seen him in a couple of games, and he's looking good, but um. Yeah, he's got some, like I said, he's got some big responsibilities on that Nuggets team. They are definitely relying on him a little bit.
What's one more thing? What's the temperature on Christian Brown replacing KCP right now? Because I kind of feel like it's working a little bit, not the shooting part, but like he is producing at a relatively decent level.
His scoring has been pretty solid, and he has been hitting the three ball too. Obviously, not as great as KCP has and can, but I think it's definitely working. He looks extremely confident out there, and he plays with a lot of energy. And the guy has a lot of athleticism, so
Yeah.
I like it. I think they put a lot of faith and trust in him, and I think their judgment was definitely correct in doing so. I
Hmm.
believe he was ready to make that jump.
Yeah, he does look a lot better this season. I think that's just getting that starting role. But Kevin, would you say he's on that try hard list of players? Because I remember you were talking about that list that you don't like of try hard players.
You know who I hate to watch? Pods. I think he sucks.
What?
Dude, I would not like.
What?
He's
Damn.
actually so like it sucks watching him.
Bro,
He doesn't like tryhards
you
like
said-
that.
Like
No,
the
I love
tryhard,
him
the
if they're like-
tryhard I hate is Christian Brown, bro.
Yeah, he is a
I
Bro,
hate
troll.
watching
Christian Brown
him
posted
try
Rudy
hard.
Gobert in the playoffs. What do you mean, Christian Brown?
Like Pods. I know
Yeah,
Pods
like
is on that
Pods.
list for him. He
Yeah,
hates
Pods is
Pods.
on that list. I don't hate Pods. It's just he's a tryhard and he's still on the bench. No, that's pretty much it. Christian Brown, maybe. I'll have to see how he plays as a starter. I've always seen him as a bench player, so give me a couple more games. I'll have an answer next Tuesday.
Would you
I'll-
put
I'll
Pritchard on that list of tryhards?
Oh yeah.
No, he doesn't play.
He had 28 last night.
The thing with Braun is that I feel like he can't. I wouldn't consider him a tryhard because he's actually like knocking down shots. He's actually making layups, like getting dunks. Like he's a big scoring part of their team. But all I wanted to say about him was that I personally feel while he is a really good athlete and he is a good basketball player and would fit in a lot of different places, I don't know if he fits as good as KCP did. That's my only like Braun and KCP. I think Braun is just I don't want to say just as good, but he's really good. Um, but I think KCP was a better fit personally. Just the style of play. I think that 3 point being able to be efficient from three is a little bit more needed for the Nuggets.
Yeah, definitely agree. KCP was a better fit.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, so that Jamal Murray from the anonymous player or whatever, was that from one of the first two games that they played? Did they say if that was one of the players?
I mean,
Oh, you
it
said
was.
it.
I saw the tweet after like the second game was played, but I don't know if it was. I'm assuming since they said Jamal Murray's easy to guard now, it probably was one of the teams from the first two games. So I'm thinking it could have been like Lou Dort, Norman Powell, James
Dude.
Harden,
Lou Dort.
I feel
Jalen Williams. I don't know.
because I was gonna say because I remember reading something that it was like one of the first two games that they played. It was one of those players, and my money's on Norman Powell for some reason. I feel like it would have been
Okay.
him that said that.
That's
I don't
funny.
know who
Norman
you guys
Powell's a
think.
dog. He has one of my favorite jumpers in the NBA, bro. Shout out Norman Powell. I'll
Norman
pop up a
Powell's
little
nice.
little video of his jumper for all of our all of our live viewers. But yeah, fellas, final thoughts on the Nuggets before we move on. On a scale of 1 to 10, how cooked are they? Let's just go around. Victor, 1 to 10, how cooked are the Nuggets?
I think 7.5.
Okay. Obviously adjusted for 3 games in. Kevin,
3.
Daniel,
Victor changed my mind on this a little bit. I'm gonna go with 5.
I was gonna go 6. It's bad. Right now it's bad. We're 3 games in, it's bad. All right. We know. We know they've only played 3 games. You don't have to remind us in the comments. All right. Let's move on. Moving on. This is Good Morning. Check your mailbox, the segment where we read emails that are emailed to us at gmlbfans@gmail.com. Of course, if you want to ask us any questions, anything you want to know about us, about the NBA, preferably keep it basketball, but it doesn't always have to be. That is gmlbfans@gmail.com. We respond to all emails and we will make sure it's okay with you before we read it on the show. But this week, we got a fun one. It's from one of my boys, Andrew. Decided to email the show here. And the email reads, what wild animals are you guys putting in your starting 5? For reference, here's mine. He went parrot at the point guard, smart, communicator, can fly. Shooting guard, he went chimp, strength, athleticism. Small forward, a tree frog. That's kind of a hot take. Insane vert, slimy, kind of hard to guard. Power forward, he went lion because it's like Draymond Green. And center, obviously, he went giraffe because he's got the Wemby build. But we decided to take this one and roll with it. So we divided up the positions. We'll start from the one. Kevin will list the point guard, animal point guard. Victor will do the shooting guard. I will do the small forward. Daniel will do the power forward. We will create our lineup of 4, and then we will all decide on the center for our squad. But go ahead, Kevin. Start us off. What do you got for point guard?
So at point guard, Barrett was a really good answer by your boy Andrew. It's a very, 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 very smart creature and can fly. I like that little flair he added on the end there. But I feel like I might have something better. I'm gonna go with the Dolphin at point guard. Reason being, Dolphins are very quick and they're very friendly. They're good with people, except for that one at SeaWorld that one time.
Actually, like
But
3 times, but yeah.
3 times, yeah. 3 times that we know of.
True.
But yeah, good with people. You need that you need your point guard, the leader of the offense, to be likable, to be able to talk and communicate. It's not fun playing basketball when you hate your point guard. And nobody hates Dolphins. Quick, great communicator. Only 2 things I need a point guard to do.
I definitely should have had us pre-run the animals because I didn't consider underwater animals. But I guess that does kind of make sense. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
We'll just put them in a bucket, have them run the
Dolphins are
point.
also Dolphins are also one of the smartest what I don't remember what kind of like description they say, but they're one of the smartest like mammals or something.
True. They also get high off puffer fish. So with the new NBA marijuana rules, it is possible we will have a point guard playing high.
Flash to
Are you
flash.
serious?
Yeah, they
That's
I think it's
real.
puffer fish. They get high off some kind of fish and they like pass it around to each other.
I have no
So
idea.
so with the new marijuana rules, it kind of fits right in. It's
Damn.
kind of off topic, but
No, that's actually so funny. Somewhere Dolphin J.R. Smith is getting so hype right now.
all right, Vic, what do you got for shooting guard?
So for shooting guard, I wanted a killer. I wanted an animal that's going to be hunting and being a predator. So I went with the Siberian tiger. I
Ooh.
wanted an animal always on the prowl, always hungry, you know, wanting to dominate.
Yeah, we're gonna
Delete.
have a husky lineup. When you say Siberian tiger, though, I can't help but think of the dude from Kung Fu Panda exclusively. Like if he played, you guys know who I'm talking about?
No.
When you said Kung Fu
Damn,
Panda, this is gonna sound stupid. I thought of Ice Age, and I was like, no, that's a saber tooth. But now I know what you mean.
bro, he's a dog in Kung Fu Panda. I'll pop a picture up because I'm
He's
not
like the
I'm
real
not cutting
big
this
dude, isn't
out.
he?
That better be in here because the viewers will know what I'm talking about. Yeah, he's tough as hell. He's like the main villain. But yeah, I mean, I don't think you can go wrong with that. Definitely a big predator in the good way, not the bad way. But just in case our tiger is the wrong kind of predator. Uh I'll go ahead and give small forward. I was between two. One of them was an ostrich, just because they're so fast. And apparently they're like super scary. So like that would have been good. But ultimately I went with a cheetah. Let me tell you why. Obviously, cheetahs are fast. The explosive first step, gotta Got to keep it real. They're the fastest animal in the kingdom, I believe. Quick reflexes. They're versatile. Length and agility can play both ends of the ball. And they have sharp vision. They have one of the best visions out of any cat, just like quality wise. So obviously, he's going to be passing from the top of the key. He's going to be the glue guy of this team, but unstoppable in isolation, bro. I mean, quick first step. Can't go wrong with that. So I'm going. Also, they're tall, so and they could board. So I'm going to cheetah at the three. So
Right.
Daniel, go ahead and give us we got dolphin, Siberian tiger, a cheetah. Go ahead and give us our power forward.
So we got a nice supporting cast here so far. But here's the secret and actual superstar of this team. It's Mr. Octopus, the stretch four. Mr. Octopus,
That's
the
crazy.
stretch four is the world's smartest invertebrate, has no bones. So you can't, I mean, what are you gonna do to a four with no bones, right? You can't do anything. He can camouflage. So you look down low at the paint, you think you're gonna see the four somewhere around there. Oh, sorry, he's at the wing in your mouth.
Green.
Also, the octopus, if as you guys well know, can fit, I think, its entire self like through a hole the size of a penny or is a quarter or something like that.
Yeah.
So just imagine a four that can get to the rim, to the hole every single time. And basically, yeah, I mean, I think this one speaks for itself. Mr. Octopus also has 3 hearts pumping oxygen into its body.
Crazy
Uh,
cardio. Crazy
yeah,
cardio.
crazy cardio. So one big detail about this guy, Mr. Octopus is apparently very antisocial. this creature stays in isolation, doesn't like to communicate with his teammates. So
Bad
you're not
chemistry.
not bad chemistry, but you're not gonna see him anytime soon at parties or at the clubs or anything like that, messing around. He's there to hoop. Octopus is there to hoop, and he's there to get buckets. I
That's
To me,
crazy.
this is the superstar of our team, but we're gonna have to see what the center is. This could be a really cool situation. But also those tentacles, man. You're not defensively, you're not getting anything past Mr. Octopus. This is just from top to bottom the best player on this team, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely the smartest. I was totally expecting like a silverback gorilla at the 4 spot, but I guess an octopus stretch four who can play both ends. He's probably crazy at backdoor cutting, considering no one can find him. He's probably a lob
Hmm.
threat, low key.
Yep.
So yeah, I mess with it. I mess with it. That was one I was not expecting, but I think that was a good pick.
And the Dolphin and him are gonna link up a lot.
Wait, hold on. Hold on. You said he's focused on hoops, bro. We've already
Oh, yeah, yeah,
established
yeah. You're
the
right. You're
precedent
right.
that our dolphin is
Hey,
gonna get high
Shaq
all
and
the
Kobe
time.
didn't love each other.
Oh,
Octopus and Dolphin don't gotta like each other to win a ring. All right, it can happen.
This is the craziest segment we've ever done. All right. Who's got something for center? Because I got one I'll propose, but I want to hear what you guys think first.
Think it's something big and mean. If we want to go more of a finesse passing type center, I say we go Panda. Reminds me of
Mm,
Jokic.
mm. I
That's
like this.
actually great.
If
It's not a
if
bad
we're
one.
thinking, yeah, it makes sense. But if we're thinking something big and mean, Silverback, I like that. Didn't even think of it until you said it. Or I say we go T-Rex.
That's crazy because my two were elephant and T-Rex because
okay.
it was not established by the precedent whether they could be extinct or not.
True.
But wouldn't we go Stegosaurus instead? Because
That's what
they're
I was just about to say.
that's the one that
T-Rex.
eats leaves, right? It's the herbivore
Yeah,
with the long neck.
we don't want no
No, I don't want a
vegan
vegan at
as
center.
our
Are you
center. No, we
crazy?
can't
Give me
have
a
that.
T-Rex.
What if he gets matched up
And
against
they're
the
not even an apex pre
Stegosaurus?
they're not a predator. Or they're, oh yeah, so we already established that they're vegan. They're a herbivore. But yeah, can't have that man at 5.
Okay, what about so
Oh, I have one, by the way. I
go
wanted to
ahead.
say mine real quick. I think this could be a no-brainer besides T-Rex and besides anything real big. Give us the apex predator, the most feared like animal in the world, the polar bear. The
It's not
polar
bad.
bear standing at 10 feet tall would just grab everything and put back
Polar bear.
everything.
See, I think a polar bear would be a good 4, low key.
Yeah.
But he might pop the basketball.
Yeah, I say polar bear at
How
4 instead.
this whole
I
segment
think
is a game of how far can we take it? How far
I
can we
think
take it?
I think we're on good track with the dinosaur at the 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stegosaurus, I'm thinking more like Omer Sheik. T-Rex gives me Ben Wallace vibes. And I'd rather have Ben Wallace.
What about like a raptor? Like, wouldn't like a raptor kind of be like Wemby in a way? Because it's like quick.
No.
Oh wait, no, they're actually not that big.
Yeah,
I,
raptors
I
are fairly.
yeah. T-Rex might have to be the move, man. I was gonna propose elephant for like a Shaq type build, but
Should
T-Rex, he can't shoot though. He can't shoot though.
Doesn't need to.
But he can't really rebound either. His
Yeah.
arms
Sure
are
he
too
can.
small.
Oh, dude, yeah, he does have a negative wingspan.
Yeah, he can't
Yeah,
rebound.
Well, no,
honestly,
think about like Ben Wallace when it was like, he has like the big arms. He had a shorter wingspan.
He could just be a catch and shoot type of center too. Like
and
Owen.
Like a Sean Marion type jumper.
dang. Now I'm thinking the polar bear might be the best answer.
I'll say this. If we choose to have a lineup with, because right now I think our lineup has all like current alive creatures, and then the T-Rex would be the only extinct one. But if we wanted to do a lineup with only like alive animals, we could put a polar bear. We could put a rhino in there,
I was
Oh
thinking
no.
rhino and hippo because hippos are like one of the most dangerous animals
like
apparently.
an
So
anchor. Go
a
ahead, Kev.
defensive anchor.
I was gonna say, I don't know, having a legend in there might be the move. We don't have any legends yet.
You know what would have been
Is the
crazy?
legend the T-Rex? Is that what you're saying?
It's
Like a
absolutely the T-Rex.
like a
Yeah.
Galaxy Opal. We could, okay, what about a Triceratops? Because they'd set crazy screens with their big heads. They
Triceratops.
their whole head. Think of a rhino, but with a big shield on its head instead of
Yeah.
just a head. Excellent screens. And it has a horn too.
Or
Could use that as like a
Like a pick and
just a
roll.
straight up like pass back wall almost.
True.
Like he just comes around the screen, puts his head down, he passes it quick three.
or
Okay.
if we're going really big and extinct, we can go Megalodon.
Those did those exist for sure?
I think.
Yes.
Megalodons were real.
Aren't there like, oh yeah, Megalodon. I was gonna say
People
like
think they
those
still exist.
dragons, those like dragons that walk land, but nah.
Are
Yeah,
we are we doing a Bobo by picking the T-Rex? Are we just picking size over everything else? I don't think so.
either way, let's go ahead and do this before we lose our audience
Yeah,
here.
actually we
Let's
actually spent a
let's all
lot of time.
cast let's cast a final vote. My final vote is gonna be I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with a polar bear, I think. Just because the T-Rex can't shoot or rebound, just because of the small arms.
I was gonna say rhinoceros. I feel like a polar bear would be a better four.
Okay, if you go rhinoceros, I'll go rhinoceros. I'll meet you on
I'm
that.
going rhino.
Okay, rhino. I'll go rhino at 5.
Give me
Oh,
Rhino Shack at 5. I'll do that.
Yeah, that's cool with me too.
over the silverback, for sure. No silverback.
Yeah, because the
I forgot
silverback
about him.
would almost be
Crazy vertical. You know what? I'm changing to silverback. Is anyone changing or are we staying rhino?
I think we're staying rhino. Speaking for
Okay.
myself here.
Going once, going twice. Okay. So our final roster at the point guard, we have a dolphin who occasionally will get high before games. At the 2, we have a Siberian tiger because of a killer mentality. At the 3, we have a cheetah for versatility. Glue guy plays both ends. Very fast, very keen. At the 4, we have an octopus. Backdoor lob threat similar to Aaron Gordon, can fit through gaps. One of the smartest players we can have, like a DeMontis Sabonis type hub. And at the 5, we have a rhino. Shaq build, straight up pick and roll threat, rebounds, box out. Pretty much all we need from him. And that's our animal starting 5. Thank you, Andrew, for emailing in. As always, if you want to contact us with basketball questions or anything about us, email us at gmlbfans@gmail.com. We will get back to you and we will ask if we can have your email on the show. We do read them here every episode. That has been Good Morning. Check your mailbox. Let's move on to the next segment.
All right, moving on, we're gonna get into our nickname knockout, which is 5 nicknames from Basketball Reference, and you guys are gonna have to guess them. It's gonna be first come, first serve. So first round is gonna be worth 1 point, fifth round is gonna be worth 5 points, and it's gonna get harder as we go on, and there will be a tiebreaker if needed. So are you guys ready for the first nickname?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Ready.
The Mitten.
Spell it.
TheMitten. The
Oh,
Mitten.
He spelled the
mitten.
too.
The
I'm gonna go.
mitten.
So Mitten has got to be a defensive guy. Give me Tony Allen.
Give me Gary Payton Jr.
All current players, Victor, or something? What do you want to
Yeah, I
say?
was just about to say it's all active players.
Oh,
Gary Payton Jr. is mine. You can't take it.
I feel like it had to play off of like Kawhi Leonard and the Claw, and it had to be like maybe a teammate that was undersized or smaller or something like that. The Mitten.
I need to give a guess too, since I said Tony Allen. Give me Drew Holiday.
All right, are you foregoing your guess?
I don't want to say what I'm thinking because it's not, it has nothing to do with like the actual name. It's just me being dumb, I think.
You just gotta say something, bro.
All right. Peyton Pritchard.
Give me
Okay.
one.
So Daniel and Kevin, good try, but Miles was correct. This was Gary Payton the second. So the Mitten, he's also known as Young Glove. He actually prefers to be Young Glove. But the nickname honors his father, Gary Payton, who was known as the Glove for his defensive skills.
We're on the board.
So 1 point for Miles. And here's round 2. It's going to be worth 2 points. First come, first serve. Red Velvet.
Interesting. Interesting. Red Velvet.
I actually really like this nickname.
And these are active players. Are you guys trying to think
Yes.
of people with red hair too?
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
struggling, bro. I can't think of
I
anyone.
was.
There's got to be someone, right?
I
It
mean,
has
I
to
know
be.
of one, but I don't like he's called something else. And there's a possibility that it's two, but I don't I'm trying to think of someone else.
Who has red hair in the NBA?
He's a starter.
Oh,
Mm.
Kevin Herter. Give me Kevin Herter.
Miles was correct. It was Kevin Herter. Yeah, the nickname came about during his time in the Atlanta Hawks when the social media team asked fans for a new nickname for Kevin Herter, and a lady coined him with the name Red Velvet, and it stuck.
It's actually tough.
So Miles has 3 points going into round three worth 3 points. This one is going to be Juan Wick.
Give me Juan
Juwan
Toscano
Howard?
Anderson. JTA.
Would you say Daniel?
No one.
He said Juwan Howard. Bro missed the active player memo.
Jaime Jaquez.
Kevin was right. It was Jaime
Ooh.
Jaquez. Kevin's
Tied it
got
up.
Oh,
Just
good
like that.
stuff. Good stuff.
so the nickname developed during his rookie season with a fun play on the movie character John Wick.
Is JTA even active? He's probably in
No,
the
he's
G League.
overseas.
Oh,
He's overseas. I
dang
like just
it.
saw a clip of him the other day. Dude, I was sitting there for like a solid minute thinking of Jaime Jaquez's name. It wouldn't come to me.
All right, so these next two are going to be really hard. I'd be shocked if you get either of them.
So what? We're
Uh,
gonna go to the tiebreak round.
so I don't know. We'll see. Round four, WD 40.
Why do I feel like I've heard this?
WD-40. Same.
Are you guys thinking of WD initials too?
Yes. Yes.
Don't do that.
Okay, so they wear number 40.
Don't do
Harrison
that either.
Barnes. Give me
Don't-
Harrison Barnes. That's my final answer.
That's a good guess, though.
So it's no WD and it's no 40. Hell of a nickname, isn't it?
Gotta be an older player. Older in reference, not LeBron old.
WD-40? Who called someone that?
I would have guessed Udonis Haslam if he was still playing.
I want to change my guess to Draymond Green just because.
It's a good one.
It's definitely a big.
WD-40 because he maybe cleans the glass. Could be it.
Giannis.
WD-40 can clean glass, I think. Maybe.
Give me Jaren Jackson Jr.
So none of you guys were correct. WD 40 was Chris Middleton. He was
What?
given
Middleton.
What?
this nickname because of his calmness on the court. Steve Hetzel, who is currently the assistant coach on the Brooklyn Nets, gave Middleton the nickname during his rookie season on the Pistons. Steve worked with Middleton and even hid a can of WD 40 in his locker at the time.
Why?
So why WD-40? Like what was the reason?
Probably because
I
he
know
had
they
a
s-
bottle
Because
of
his
it in his
game.
locker.
No, he
That's
hid that
insane.
himself. He said because of the calmness of on the court that he like had when he would play.
But what does that have to do with WD-40? You guys know what that is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
know what
guess it's
that
like
It's
is.
a okay, so it
it's a
could make it
lubricant. It's a
yeah.
lubricant.
He's basically saying he made the offense work better, calmer, more efficient, probably. That
Well, I
wouldn't
guess
be
they were
drinking as
saying
much.
that like at some points that it felt like he didn't care and that he was just like too relaxed and calm.
Oh, well then yeah, I don't know then. I don't
But
know how that
still, what
makes
does that have
sense.
to do with Okay, that still doesn't have anything to do. I'm not saying it's your fault. It's obviously
Yeah.
not your fault. But it's if someone understands the reference, please comment because I'm missing it. It's over my head, I guess.
All right, so round 5 worth 5 points. The nickname is the Big Handsome.
Big
Probably
handsome.
someone ugly.
I was gonna say it's someone extremely small,
A big handsome.
like Yuki on the Grizzlies.
Can we get a hint? Is this a starter?
No, he does not start.
I'm gonna go
Mm.
Luke Cornett on this one.
That's not a bad guess.
Luke Cornett.
Big handsome.
Well, him not being a starter automatically eliminates my guess.
Should I keep guessing or is it locked?
I mean, you can guess. I mean, if you guys want another hint, he's white.
Alex Len?
All right, that's his last guess, I think, until the tiebreaker.
Cody Zeller.
Yeah, it was Cody Zeller.
No way. Yeah.
That's
Dude,
insane.
let's go.
Oh man, I was gonna say Mason Plumley next.
Oh,
Dang it. Yeah, that was
Oh.
what a
fire.
clutch.
The nickname came from Cody Zeller's time as an Indiana Hoosier. It was given to him during his freshman year of college by his classmates. There was even a song made called the Big Handsome Anthem, made by students on the campus in 2012.
I feel like that's like the least handsome guy in the NBA, with all due respect to Cody Zeller.
The big handsome.
That's a crazy one, bro. I can't lie.
I know, I thought it was hilarious.
That's
funny.
dope.
So Kevin won, ended up getting 8 points. Miles had 3. Daniel had 0.
All glory.
As always, GMLB family, thank you for tuning in once again to Good Morning Let's Basketball. I know this episode was a little weird. We're just a week into the season, so not too much to talk about yet, but we do have great content coming your way. Working on solo videos, obviously, we have our reels coming out. But as always, if you'd like to email the show, ask us questions, anything related to us or basketball, that's gmlbfans@gmail.com. As always, we are on Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. If you made it this far, we'd enjoy a rating. We thank you as we quickly approach 2,000 subs on YouTube. We thank you all for listening. And until next time, we'll see you then. Peace.